Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Hello viewers, you're welcome to Okanga Africa, where we talk about tourism, events and culture. I am your host, Eunice Benjamin, and today we'll be talking about my origin. How much do you know about your tradition and culture? What's your mood of greetings and what's your take on how we greet? Many don't even know how to speak their dialect, and many don't even know where they come from, which is very, very wrong. Parents no longer give their children native names, which makes me feel they are ashamed of their culture and tradition. Now, the Yorubas in Nigeria portrayed while greeting. They knew while greeting. Now, no matter the level of the education acquired by a Yoruba man or an Hausa man in Nigeria, they will always greet their elderly ones with English. Rather, they use the dialect, which shows signs of respect. And they use dialect when doing this. And that's very unique. And their mood of dressing can easily tell where they come from. In terms of marriages, we have so many different ways we get married in Nigeria, which makes us more unique. We have so many cultures. We have events like the Cross Rivers, they do carnivals. Like Mbise, they do this New Yam festival, which makes us more unique. And you see, some people deviate from these things, which means it's either they are not from Africa or they're certainly not from this planet. But our Africa, we are beautiful. I'm rocking this African clothes because I am beautiful. I'm proud to be an African. I ran into a friend some years back and we exchanged pleasantries. And I asked him, "Where are you from?" He said he's from Akwa Ibom in Nigeria. And I greeted him in his dialect. He laughed and said he doesn't understand. And I was like, what? That was very wrong. Now, no one in Nigeria would rather like an outsider rather than our culture. We are Africans. And that is where our dressing says about us. Now, school these days no longer teaches our dialect, tradition or culture. That is where the parents comes in. You teach your children about your culture, your dialect. You make them feel free to mingle with other people so they can communicate with the culture and tradition of their father's land. I can bet you that so many people don't even know how many local governments makes up their state. Now I'll take you down to the street where you would see people who still have value for their tradition and culture. Don't forget, you're watching Okanga Africa, where we talk about culture, tradition and event. I am still your host, Eunice Benjamin. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
In Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okay, you're welcome to the street, where we have to ask few questions about our culture and tradition. And we also have few students who will be talking to, but first of all, we'll have to talk to this elderly man who would like to contribute to what we have to say. Sir, please, may we know your name and where you come from?
Well, I'm Mr. Chuku Cletus, principal of one secondary school. I'm from Enugu State, precisely in Kano.
Sir, please, what do you have to say about those tradition cultures that have been going extinct, which is not supposed to be so?
Well, actually, your program is very important at this point in time because a lot of things has happened. This issue of language that is the problem now is a big problem. Big problem in the sense that the history of the town, the history of the people is no more taught in secondary schools, because this is where the language starts. And if you're in secondary school, you begin to learn history about your town, about your own people, about their culture and whatever. You'll be able to know the importance of the language, and you'll be proud to speak it. But a situation where the history, you don't know even where your background, it's just like singing, talking about your own language is singing, which means nothing. But the actual thing now is that if the government will bring back the subject of history back to the secondary school, I think it will go a long way to help these kids to know actually where they come from and the meaning of their language. And that's the most important thing. Without that, it will be a very big problem. Therefore, I like what you are doing, at least to find out what is actually the problem of these languages going extinct, especially that of Igbo. Most of the people now don't speak Igbo. The kids don't speak Igbo. As I'm an Igbo man, you know, and when you see these kids speaking Igbo, it seems that they are singing because actually they don't know exactly what they are saying. But if they now start going in, knowing the history, it's very, very important. That language is very important in the secondary school. So it will go a long way to help these kids to actually know what they mean by their language. Thank you very much.
We've heard what the sir have said. And I think it's very important if we adhere to his instruction and advice. If we don't get these things back, I wonder what will become of us in the next generation. Thank you very much. We'll be taking up from here down to where the student is. We'll talk to a few of them to hear what they have to say. You're welcome. Still and still, we are on the Street Talk Show. Now we're going to ask this young man a few questions, and he's going to introduce himself for us. Welcome to Okanga, Africa. What's your name and where do you come from?
My name is George Daniel. I come from Imo State.
Imo State. Can you just say something with your dialect? Tell us anything with your dialect.
Okay, what I'm almost do, like, can draw. I'm good in drawing, good in dancing.
Tell us all these things now in your dialect. You're from Imo State, right? Now tell us in your dialect.
I didn't understand. As you explained.
Yes, speak it in your language.
I'm not used to speaking in my language. Just they brought me up in English.
That is very bad. This young man doesn't know how to speak his dialect. Don't worry. We are going to bring this back to our time, okay? Thank you very much. All right, welcome. We are still on the Street Talk Show, and you're welcome to Okanga, Africa. Then we have this young man who is going to tell us more about his dialect. Young man, what is your name and where do you come from?
I'm Samuel. I'm from Abia State.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to interpret it in your dialect.
Okay.
All right. The roof is woody, not to use. Say it in your dialect. The roof is woody, not to use.
It's a kind of complicated. Come again, please.
The roof is woody, not to use.
Enu no. Bo osisi na adoroma itinye n'olu.
All right, he was not saying it as if he was speaking English, though it was wonderful. You really tried. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. That was wonderful. Young man, what is your name and where do you come from?
My name is Ubro Kodre. I'm from Enugu State.
All right, can you tell us this same thing you just said now in your dialect?
Huh?
Say this thing you just said now in your language.
Abumo Igbo. I'm from Enugu State.
All right, now I'm going to ask you one question and you are going to answer me in your dialect.
No problem.
My teacher, he's a very, very honest man. Man, what is your name and where do you come from?
My name is Dechemra from Enugu State.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you one question and you're going to tell me what it means in your dialect. The kitchen has a wooden roof. Say it in your dialect. The kitchen has a wooden roof. Say it in your dialect. That was bad. That was a very, very bad one. But I think he's going to try. After this show, he's going to try to learn his own dialect. Young man, what is your name and where do you come from?
My name is Sayaw Kamsan. I come from Imo State.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer me in your dialect. The kitchen has a wooden roof. Say it in your dialect. The kitchen has a wooden roof. Say it in your dialect. I think you need to listen to that. Say it again. Alright, that was wonderful. You're watching Okanga TV African show. Okay, we are down here in the streets and we have someone who is going to tell us something about himself or explain something in his own dialect. Sir, please, where are you from and what is your name?
I'm from Benue State and my name is Dominic.
Okay. Now he's from Benue State. He's going to tell us something in his dialect. Sir, please, I will say something and you're going to interpret it in your dialect. The weather is very fair. Say it in your dialect. Is that it? The weather is very fair. Say it again. Okay. What do you have to say about people, or what do you have to say to people that can't speak their dialect or don't even know where they come from?
In my own language.
Say it in English.
I should say it in
English.
Any person that doesn't know how to speak his language, that means he's a miserable person. That you don't know where you are.
So what's your advice to them?
I am advising every one of them that they should learn how to speak their language. For example, if there is a visitor around and you don't want the visitor to hear what you want to say, you can speak to your child or your brother in your dialect and that person will understand. It's better than to say you throw out in English and what you don't expect somebody to hear it. We hear it. It's not good.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you very much. That was it. The man's advice was strictly good. You don't need to communicate to your visitors or your children when the visitors is around with English. Sometimes you can do it with your dialect. It's better that way. Thank you. Listen, sir, please, what is your name and where do you come from?
My name is Alhaji Sani from Sokoto.
Yeah, Alhaji Sani from Sokoto. Please tell us, I want to eat. Please come and eat in your dialect. Say it again so that they can hear you. I want to eat. Come and eat. Come and eat.
Come and eat. Zo kaci abinci.
Okay. Thank you very much. Zo kaza abinci. So maybe when I'm eating, I'll call you to Zo kaza abinci. Thank you very much, sir. We really had your time. Thank you very much. Lady, what is your name and where do you come from?
My name is Olatunji Blessing Adeshawa. I'm from Ondo State.
She's from Ondo State. Now, I'll ask you a question, and you're going to tell us with your dialect. I am very happy to speak with Okanga Africa. Say it in your dialect.
Inú mi dùn láti bá Okanga sọ̀rọ̀ lórí station yẹn.
That was wonderful. That was very wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing with us. Well, that was a very wonderful one. I hope you enjoy our show. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. You're welcome to another one. She's beautiful. So, Ma, we want to know your name and where you come from.
My name is Otito Chukwu. I'm from Enugu.
Well, she's from Enugu. Ma, I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to tell us what it means. I mean, you're going to interpret it in your dialect. Right. What bounced to the wall will bounce back at you? Say it in your dialect. What bounced to the wall will bounce back at you? Say it. Ihe dala na enu wall. Gada kwasekwa again. Hey, nala the new wall. Well, I need that to say it again. We didn't hear it. Ihe dala na wall. Gada kwasekwa gozo. Okay, Ma, you have tried. Thank you very much. Please, what is your advice to people who don't know how to speak their dialect? To people who can't speak it at all, who don't want to learn, or who don't even know where they come from? What's your advice to them?
My advice for them is for them to go and learn it because it's so important. Like now you're asking me, I don't really know it at all, but my advice just to go and learn it so that if you happen to meet your person, as in your people outside Enugu, you can be able to speak it well, as in know how to interpret it.
All right, thank you very much. What she said she was giving a total advice to people who doesn't know how to speak it, and if you don't learn it, it will be an embarrassment to you and to people watching you. Thank you very much for watching. This man, he's from Ghana.
Yes.
So we have a very big guest today. So we are going to ask him a question, and he's going to tell us what it means in his dialect. Sir, where are you from, and what is your name?
I'm from Ghana. As you say, it's English or my dialect. Okay, I'm from Ghana. My name is Kojo Ewia.
Okay. Sir, please answer this question with your dialect. A bird in hand is better than a promised cock.
A bird in hand better than promise. That's a anuma or one sem. No one fast was saying copper. I didn't see.
Well, that was wonderful. Yes, amazing. We'll try to know what that means. Yes, a bird in hand is better than a promised cock. That was what he just said. Yes. And I hope you've learned Ghana today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, okay. Sir. You're welcome. Young lady, what's your name and where do you come from?
Ahambo Ogochukwu Obodo. Abmoye Abugo, Dina Kano West local government.
All right. I'm going to ask you a question of which you're going to tell us with your dialect. The weather is very fair and beautiful. Please tell us in your dialect. All right. She tried, but that wasn't all. Thank you for watching Okanga Africa, and we will still be going on and on to know more people that are very interested in their culture and tradition, who do well more of their dialect. Thank you very much. Keep watching. Young lady, please, what is your name and where do you come from?
Okay, my name is Ike Mary Udochi and I'm from Imo State.
Can you repeat that in your dialect?
Sure, I can. Ahambu Ike Mary Udochi. Eshim, Imo State.
That was wonderful. She made it. Thank you very much. Okay, we are still on the street where we have this young man who is going to talk to us today and tell us about his dialect. Young man, what is your name and where do you come from?
Okay, I'm a Valentine by name, Oko Valentine Francis, and I'm from Enugu State.
Okay, Valentine, I'm going to ask you a question of which you're going to tell me in your dialect. You're going to interpret it in your dialect. Now, the sun is too sunny. Say it in your dialect.
The sun is too sunny. It's kind of hard for me because I'm not that too. Okay. Sun, I can say that the sun can be said in Igbo language generally. We call it anwu. You understand? Okay. I can make fun of myself, but let me give it a try, shall okay, the sun is too sunny. I want the two more. How will I say it now?
Okay. Fine. Okay, it's still a very wonderful and sunny day today, and we have someone here to speak with us. What is your name and where do you come from?
Okay, Mberabo Dr. John. Popular no last point. Mberabo Nyeza. Ebonyi State, as are not. Okay. So Iba Beshirike. And I'm that I'm the hide Iba hide.
Okay.
But that one and that while your name.
All right. I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer me with your dialect.
Okay.
The governor is good for election.
Yes, David my Brejbo Maza Liba, Brejbo Governor Chitaire. All China shot Achia. And then Ungachi 4 tenor almost 8 tenor. But I like our governor, David Mai. Which is better at full account about my person.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If we give this young man a whole day, he's going to do it. Thank you very much. Congratulations, you tried. Thank you. All right, madam. Good afternoon. Please, you're welcome to Okanga Africa. Thank you. What's your take, or what do you have to say about people not speaking their dialect anymore or bearing their names, their native names? What's your take on it?
Well, it's too bad when people don't know or speak their languages or their language. It's very bad because that is our identity. That is the person's identity. Without it, the person can be lost anywhere. Yes, especially when the person is not within the locality. Yes. So it's very, very bad.
Now, what is your take? What's your now telling the audience? What do you advise the parents do? What do you advise the government do? What do you advise the teachers do?
Well, in our homes, that's to parents, all we are saying is that despite the fact that the children speak English in their school, but my advice is that throughout their stay at home, in their village, wherever they are, they should speak their dialect, their mother tongue. Yes, whether Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, TV, Efik, it is mandatory that they speak it at home. Yes.
Thank you very much, madam. You're welcome. That is it. She's just made her point, and that is clear. Either at home, village, whatever it is, just try and make them understand that their dialect is important to them. Thank you very much for watching Okanga Africa. You're welcome, madam. Thank you.
In Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okay, welcome back. You could see what happened down the street. It was wonderful. It was amazing. People can easily take message from here. And people want to learn, because most people wouldn't want to be embarrassed like that. I mean, people want to learn from this. Okay, we have come to the end of today's show, but I have something to tell you. Celebrate your culture before it's been sold right back to you. Keep watching. Same time, same station, next week. You're watching Okanga Africa, and I'm your host, Eunice Benjamin. Thank you.
In Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.
Okanga Africa.